The further we move on from all those yesterdays, happiness gets nearer. The light that we see closing in so fast ahead, it's hope, it's getting clearer. The more I think of all the tough times we survived, the more it makes me smile. If nothing's broken us, yeah, nothing ever will, 'cause dreams are hard to kill.
What is Homestead Heroic? For me, it's a vision, the desire to be self-sufficient, to provide for my family in a way that ensures I'm beholden to no man, to be a little more reliant on God's provision and a little less reliant on the supply chain. The focus is on community, learning, self-reliance, and personal responsibility. Learning from one another, an opportunity to teach, an opportunity to learn. The content of this channel will be focused on many things regarding self-sustainability, homesteading, gardening, reloading, defense training, building, crafting. Many disciplines will be taught, and I have no doubt that many more will be learned. I can't wait to share this journey with you, and I hope you're equally excited to go on it with me. Welcome to Homestead Heroic. Be strong, stay safe, keep the faith, and Godspeed. Welcome back, y'all, to the Homestead. Hi. It's good to see you. Happy Tuesday night. Did someone tell me what in the flock is going on? In Nashville? Someone tell me what's going on in Nashville. And before we dive into that, what's up, Corey? How you doing? Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, we're back. Looking for the deets on the explosion in Nashville. Yes, isn't everybody? Or is nobody because nobody heard about it, and why in the flock did no one hear about it? That's what I want to know. What in the world is going on? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and first off, we're back at the reloading bench. For those of you who are not familiar with the Homestead, this is where we normally do our, Homestead Heroic stuff at the reloading bench. But I got a new toy for Christmas. So in between reloading and stuff, we're going to actually be training as well, because I got a sweet little new gizmo for the Glock here. It's called an iTarget Pro. Now, for all of y'all who are extremely focused on safety, we're gonna rock and roll here. We're gonna do a chamber check. I'm going to show you that I have empty magazines on me. You can see that I've got training mags. These are some ETS clear mags here. They're ETS mags, so I can see they're empty. There's nothing in them. All about the paramount of safety here at the Homestead. So, just so you guys can see, we're running an empty those are that is a laser bullet in the chamber. Just so you guys can see, there was a little black dot at the back. That was a laser cartridge that is used for laser training, which is an awesome way for you to dry fire train and not spend a dime above and beyond just having the actual laser cartridge, right? So I got that for Christmas. Thank you, Mom, for getting me the iTarget Pro. So I'm going to be doing some dry fire exercises and stuff like that in between everything. But yeah, so he chose the location and made it aware to some folks ahead of time. He did it since no one would be in the business location at that time, but could cause mass damage to the buildings. So, okay. What is the motive here? The only thing that I heard was literally that this Anthony, hang on, I'm going to pull his name up. Anthony Warner. All I heard was this Anthony Warner, 63, was a contract employee for AT&T like 5 or 6 years ago. Or for 5 or 6 years. He came on as a contractor for like 5 or 6 years ago and chose to exit his contract. And then this happened next to the AT&T building. Yeah, why in the world would a suicide bomber literally just be trying, like, I can't imagine that, like, he couldn't find if he wanted to get back at AT&T, why? Like, he has to realize. I work with a former Tennessee law enforcement person. She reached out to the folks working the case. They're giving little details outside. He wanted to do it there. And that's the thing, is that we have no motive. There's no rhyme or reason other than the AT&T location, right? And the fact of the matter is that this person obviously knew the ins and outs of the AT&T location, because for days afterwards, they literally, there were rolling blackouts for communications. He took down police communications. He didn't just take down AT&T's internet and cell service. He also took down police communications and a bunch of other stuff too. This guy obviously knew where to put this to inflict the most damage to communication equipment and to somehow minimize what he knew where to place it to do as much damage to buildings and equipment as possible. Plus, he managed to not kill anyone. What? I don't like, what in the world could the motive be besides, okay, I'm going to go conspiracy theory on you guys for a minute. This was a test run. This isn't going to be the last thing we see. And it was a test run against our communication infrastructure. Who here has seen Live Free, Die Hard? Yes, 100%, Corey. Sorry, guys, I just ripped my nail. That sucks. Anyway, yeah, I like appreciative of the fact that he actually cared about innocent life. That That's the thing that it literally like, I'm trying to wrap my head around this because it doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense at all. Yo, what's up, John? How you doing, bud? So they're giving out no details. Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing, Cody? It's good to see you, my guy. So they're giving out no details. It was infrastructure only. Obviously, so I'm going to go conspiracy theory again. He didn't kill himself in this. This was not a suicide by bomb, by the way, because there were shots fired at 5. He was long dead before that bomb ever went off. So either he committed suicide with a gun or he was shot. One of the two, because there were shots fired in that exact same area at 5:30 in the morning, an hour ahead of the bomb going off. There were shots fired in the area. No ballistics were found. No weapons been found. Like, it was literally just reports of shots fired, and that was it. So, if that's the case, there's no way that he was even alive when that bomb went off. I think he was killed in that RV. Or he took his own life in that RV, one of the two. And I know this is all, like, worth noting. This is all obviously speculation here. I have no details of this. I mean, Corey's got people who he knows who work in the department, so he's going to have more details than me, but I'm guessing that there probably aren't many more details than this. Now, here's the kicker, guys. Here's what I don't get. Fox News was the only one reporting on this the entire day. This happened on Saturday morning, like Sunday morning, right? 6, or was it Saturday morning? Hang on a sec. This would have been Sunday, early Sunday morning. At 6:30 a.m. is when the bomb went off. 1:22 a.m. is when the RV parked. Oh no, it was Friday. It was Saturday morning. So 1:22 a.m. on Friday morning is when the RV was parked. At 6:30 a.m. on Friday morning, it was Christmas morning. They know more than they're letting out, especially if they're working on finding people involved. Well, and that's kind of what, like, but still, the fact that no one besides for Fox News was reporting on this didn't hit Facebook like it normally does. This was not on CNN, ABC, or CBS's radar or NBC's radar. Why in the world were they not reporting on this? They love a great story to cause mass chaos and panic. They could have been like, bombs going off, we don't know how many people are dead. Like, that would have been the normal headlines for something like this. CNN, NBC, they all would have been after this story if they didn't know something. Why did this get no coverage? I don't get it. So, like I said, guys, I've got an iTarget Pro chamber check. There's a laser cartridge in my Glock. Safety check. Everything's empty. There's a couple different things that I've been training. So I've got a target that's about 7 feet away. I'm working on making sure that I stay under a second and a half on draw. So for those of you who are maybe a little weary about guns or something like that, I'm just going to let you know that I'm going to be training while I'm doing this. Plus, we'll get to reloading ammo too. I have 100 cases set out that are ready and primed and that are set ready to prime. And yeah, we're gonna do a little draw from holster, right? We're gonna draw from holster. We're gonna punch out, come back in, just do some timed draw work while we chat about Nashville here. I don't know how it took so long to know there was the bomber in the RV. I think they were trying to identify the remains, gun nut. Honestly, I think they were trying to identify the remains before they put anything out there. They obviously knew there were human remains in there, but I think they were validating. It would make sense that they were validating things. Right? I actually appreciate the fact that they didn't start speculating on a bunch of stuff for the first time in how many years did they not speculate on things. Is that a bullet maker? Sure is. I've got 100 9mm rounds laid out, ready to prime. I've got another 500. I've got another 500 bullets ready to load. I'm going to be out of primers before I'm out of bullets, though. We got our primers. We got our powder. We're ready to go. And, yeah, we're chilling. How you doing, Kolobi? It's good to see you, my guy. So, we're going to work on our quick draw. I've got my phone set up out here. You can't really see it right now, but I've got my phone set up, pointed at a target right now. And we're just going to do, it's going to be 10 shots. It's going to be 10 shots where we're drawing from holster, punching out, trigger, down, reset. I have to rack because I'm running a Glock, which is a single action pistol. I have to rack the slide in between each one in order to do shots on. But yeah, let's give it a go and see if I can keep it under a second. I want to get eventually to under a second. Taking a quick moment away from the family. Heck yeah! Let's go, dude. How's Christmas, man? All right. Enter distance. We got about 7 feet here. Maybe close enough. All right, here we go. One, 3, 7. 1, 4, 5 on an 8. I ripped it. One, 3, 9. One, 5, 3 on a 7. 1, 4, 1 on a 7. 9 on a 1, 3, 8. 6 on a 1, 3, 4. 8 on a 1, 4, 7. Shot 10. So everything was under 1.5 except for the one where I missed getting out of the holster. It was exactly what I needed. Time with the family this past month's really made me realize how lonely it's been at home. Heck yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. That was why I disconnected over Christmas, dude. I went hardcore disconnect over Christmas. I was like, you know what? It's been a crazy year. This is going to be the last time in probably a month or two that we're going to be up north. I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to push anything. I did a little bit of work over the holiday, but overall, we went out back. We built a lean-to with the boys. I had my nephew over a lot, and we went out in the woods and played. It was really cold after day one, so we took advantage of day one, went out back. We built a lean-to, which was a whole lot of fun. If you haven't checked Instagram, make sure you do that. But we had a lot of fun. It was good to just kick back, relax, not worry about anything, and just spend Christmas with family. I've also been trying to put my phone down a little bit more, which is really hard, especially when you've gotten into a habit of having your phone out all the time, and you're always checking on stuff and trying to engage in conversations. And I mean, that's the kicker with this, is it feels almost like an obligation. Like you have to be active. You have to be always chatting, and sometimes you just have to take a minute, back off, and not. Oh, heck yeah. Definitely. It's crazy, dude. Like, I'm looking at all of these articles. Like, if by this point now, CBS, ABC, all of these places have reported on this thing, but I mean, it literally, like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. You know what blows my mind though? Has anyone watched the footage that Nashville police released? Corey specifically, do you know anyone who was actually on site for that? Because if you watch the camera footage that the police actually released, the one guy didn't even react. Yeah, suspect was identified and found in pieces in the RV. They identified the human remains in the RV as the suspect, which is awfully convenient, honestly. One. Two, the fact that there were gunshots an hour before the bomb went off, and we've heard nothing about that story. If it was unrelated, why not say it's unrelated? If they're still pursuing someone, why not say you're still pursuing someone? Right? If they suspect someone's armed and dangerous, why not say something? Or if it was indeed the suicide bomber taking his own life, why not say that? There's a lot of questions that I have about things that we're not getting any answers for. And that immediately, like, that sends up red flags for me hardcore. Why are we not getting any answers on any of this stuff? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, I'm gonna put some primers in here. We're gonna get fired up on getting some of this stuff loaded here. It feels too tidy for no one to know anything, right? Am I off my rocker with this? It feels like it's too wrapped up in a nice little bow. It's too convenient. Where's my partial? There it is. Okay, I've got 35 wrapped in that one. Even if someone's super clean about something like this, I don't know, man. It just doesn't sit right. Now, I'm not going to claim to be a detective or a private investigator, but I like to think that I'm a logical person, and granted, this act is as illogical as it gets. The conspiracy will come out! It will come out! In the next day or two. Dude, I'm telling you, man. This case lube works a trick when the RAM gets gunked up on this, bro. I'm telling you, man. It works real nice. Give it a quick wipe down and we're good to go. Look at all that gunk. Yo, heck yeah, Kalobi. I appreciate you hanging out, brother. Enjoy the fam, man. Don't be safe. Be safe out there, dude. Enjoy. I don't know, man. What other theories do people have? What other theories you guys got? If I had to go with a theory, I don't feel like this is just a case of revenge. This isn't just a case of revenge. Usually there's an ideology of some sort, or usually there's some sort of clear-cut something. And right now there's literally no details. I mean, there are people who claim that this guy was just quiet, right? How does someone who's just quiet, who's never had an outrage, who does not appear from any stretch of the imagination to have some sort of ideology or specific issue with whatever, just out of nowhere bomb 41 buildings? I mean, this was obviously not religious. This didn't appear to be race related. It didn't have anything to do with BLM, Antifa, like the normal suspects. I just don't. There's just not enough answers. I mean, there was a 15-minute countdown. And the fact that they confirmed a DNA match so quickly. And this guy was a computer contract worker for AT&T. So either this guy felt like AT&T was doing something wrong, right? I mean, it was 15 minutes. The thing that I find interesting is if you watch the body cam footage released by Nashville cops, those cops didn't even flinch when that bomb went off. And I'm not saying they were, like, I don't want to say that I suspect that they were in on it, but normally, like, if a bomb goes off, you're like getting down. You're like head on a swivel. This guy literally, this cop was standing, he was in his trunk. He opened the trunk of the cruiser. He was messing around almost like he was going to take his body cam off. The bomb goes off, and all he did was turn around. He didn't duck. He didn't say, holy sh... Like, he didn't even react. And I have to think, if I were in that situation, I would have been like, what the fuck? What just happened? Yeah, the evac thing is not normal at all. And especially with as much explosive as was used, 41 buildings were damaged in the explosion. That thing took out a network center that kept AT&T in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia down for days. Communications were literally down for days in 3 states. That's a heck of a lot of explosive. But have y'all seen that video? You guys got to check this out. I'm going to just play it because it doesn't make sense. I got to see if this is it. Nope, that's not it. Nashville police footage. All right. Let's pause that. Watch this. At a minute 4. Okay, here. He's going in his trunk. Someone tell me how in the world did they not I'm having a hard time fathoming how I wouldn't have completely reacted differently to that. How did you not react? I mean, they literally just kind of like turned around and like looked around. There's stuff flying everywhere. They're not on their radio right away. They're not like I don't know. I have a hard time understanding the thought process. I have a hard time understanding the thought process behind a lack of reaction to a bomb that size going off a block away from you. Am I crazy in that? I don't know, man. That's weird to me. I would have reacted so differently. I feel like I would have had the desire to start running towards things to check in with other officers. Like I would have been on my comms immediately trying to figure out what the heck was going on. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Am I the only one who would have reacted differently? I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And I'm struggling to do so. What the heck? One video shows an officer running toward the explosion area. Yeah, Babs, I saw. What? Hey, Nightbot, screw you. The recording tell people. Why did you get timed out? Did you just post a link? I bet you just posted a link. Yeah, I did see that after the fact, Babs. And like if you watch later in the video, because I watched that video more than a couple times. If you watch later in the video, you'll see that the officer eventually makes his way over to the area, and then there's officers running in and stuff like that. It's just that lack of initial reaction almost was like they were expecting it to go off. They're expecting it to happen, and they just didn't have a reaction. And now, granted, I know that the countdown was going, so maybe they did expect it and they didn't react because they were expecting it to go off. So that easily could explain. I just, given that they were so vigilant, and hats off to the Nashville Police Department for being vigilant enough to go around, evacuate people, that is truly probably what saved lives as part of this effort. But I don't know, it just, maybe I'm just looking, I mean, it could have been initial shock, yeah, I suppose. There's so many things about this situation that are off that I like. I'm trying to fathom everything that, like, all the information that's going right now and figuring out why, what little information we have is occurring. He's wearing a body cam, doesn't look like he ducked or anything once the kaboom happened. That's what I'm saying. He didn't duck. He didn't react. Oh. Ha! Yeah, that's a naughty word. That one's deleted. I suppose I probably don't have to have that much of a, you know, thing on the on the chat, considering we're talking about pretty adult subjects here on this channel. But yeah, it's odd. It's yet another thing that's very odd about this situation, is that there was literally not a holy, I would have been like, holy shit. Like, I feel like I would have reacted differently. So trying to understand what was running through their mind or whatever is part of this. But yeah, there was nothing. Yeah, so on Christmas morning, and this is the other thing, officers received a shots fired call. So 6 a.m., the bomb goes off at 6:30. At 6 a.m., they get a call for shots fired. Half an hour later, the bomb goes off. Although they say it's not yet clear whether there was actually any gunfire. That's when they encountered the RV that had the recording going off over the PA. And apparently there was a post on Twitter about it too. So my question is, you've got 15 minutes to get out of Dodge. You've got 15 minutes to get out of Dodge before something potentially blows up everything. What are you grabbing, if anything, before you get out of Dodge? You've got 15 minutes to evacuate your home. What are you grabbing before you run out the door? And I know that that's not a lot of context necessarily. I know that's not a lot of context necessarily. But if you're told you're evacuating your home and you have 15 minutes to get out, what are you grabbing? I'm grabbing my kids and my wife. I'm grabbing my concealed carry pistol. And yeah, my camping backpack. My camping backpack with a little food, little water, and we're going. I would also, depending on who's telling me to evacuate, be asking questions. Like, how long do I have? Where am I going? Testing to see about knocking out communication systems. Bonmore was just being used by someone bigger. That's my conspiracy theory, Babs. That's my conspiracy theory. Is this was a test run for something much bigger. Think Live Free Die Hard. Who here's seen Live Free Die Hard? That Die Hard movie is actually probably one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite Die Hards. Because it includes a technology component that I think is way more fragile than we're willing to admit. How fast is that camera moving? Holy crap. Has it been moving that fast the whole time?
Drive the same roads every day. We both get there our own way.
Let's take that down just a tad. That was probably making people dizzy. Good Lord.
How different two souls can be.
If you've ever seen Live Free Die Hard, it's basically something called a fire sale, right? So the idea here is that you start with communications, right? You take out communications nationwide. When people realize they can't get through to anyone, that's when the panic starts to set in. Yep. Knock out communications. And then once you've got communications down, you start to infiltrate the economic systems. So you start to crash the stock market. You start to rob the banks. Yes, it's very true. It could happen in the world we live in. You go after the banks. You start playing with the numbers. All that jazz. Then you take out electricity and you go after the actual grid. And you will literally cripple a nation and take them back to the Stone Age. It would be the wild, wild west, and no one is going to save you. At that point, money really isn't any good. And the only thing you have is what you have at the time and your skills. And your skills. Which is why if you're not currently training up your skills, you should probably be focused on training up your skills. So, and that's the important part of having a plan too, right? That's the important part of having a plan too. Yo, what's up, madam? How you doing, fam? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. But that's the important part of having a plan, right? Is making sure that you know if this happens, we're going to do this, right? All right. There is 50 all primed and ready to rock and roll. Well, we started talking about Nashville because Nashville is an absolute anomaly and cluster with what's going on there. Okay, we got 45. Nashville is just completely, it's completely flabbergasting. There's no motive. There were no deaths. It was completely infrastructure based. So they were going after infrastructure. They were going after, there's no clear motive. This person didn't adhere to any specific ideology that we know of yet. It doesn't make any sense. There's literally so little detail. How could someone get that much explosive into an RV and into a major city, major populated area, and manage to explode it with being completely off the radar from the FBI, completely off the radar of local authorities, completely off the radar of any friends and family? I mean, this is literally like, it's nearly the perfect crime. Minus the fact that the person's dead. It doesn't make any sense. And without being noticed completely. All right, I'm going to put another 10. I'm going to put another 10 shots on for those of you who might be just joining us. I am using a safety checked weapon. There is a laser cartridge in the chamber. I am running empty mags for the purposes of having a mag in there. This is a completely unloaded weapon with practice mags. And what we're running here is the iTarget Pro system. I'm doing just straight draw on trying to keep it under a 1.5 seconds right now. Eventually I want to get it under a second on draw. And land preferably A zone or X zone, 10 zone, 9 zone at the best, but we're working on it. $1,375. That didn't register. Might as well get a 10 if it's going to be 5 seconds. 10. 10 on a 145, 8 on a 178. Ouch. 10 on a 142. 5 on a 127. 6 on a 133. 5 on a 131. 8 on a 139. And a 5 on a 139. I ripped my nail. This time I ripped it more. Wonder if that was an inside thing. It could have been. Hang on a sec. I gotta go grab a clippers quick. Luckily, I had my backpack right there. Woo! I guess the bomber gave a couple properties in Antioch to a Hollywood AEG artist development director. Yeah, no, madam, it does definitely feel almost like it's an inside thing. Information is sparse. There's no ideological rhyme or reason. There's no ideological rhyme or reason for why it happened. The person didn't have a manifesto of any sort. And there was literally no indication that this person was even planning anything. I mean, this person managed to buy enough explosive or make enough explosive to not trigger the ATF. That's phenomenal. And phenomenally dumbfounding. It's too perfect for it to have been planned with as much damage that was dealt and nobody to know about it. Right. Well, and so here's the interesting thing too, and this is my other part of the conspiracy that I'm going to be interested to see. We'll probably never find out about, but honestly, this is the thought process that's running through my head. Is this person literally was a pawn, managed to either get in with the wrong people, or alternatively, this was an ATF job, or the ATF was at least aware of it and they were part of it, right? They were test running, taking out the communication hubs for the region, right? Test running, taking out communications for the entire region, including, by the way, somehow they managed to take out the police scanners too. This wasn't just an AT&T hit. They managed to completely basically disable police communications as well. AT&T runs the scanner and emergency lines. Well, okay, that's fair. That makes sense. But you're telling me that police agencies don't have backups? You're telling me they're a single service provider for something as important as police communications and emergency services communications? That is a major issue. Come on now. I hope y'all are familiar with the 2 is 1, 1 is none philosophy. Y'all know that, right? 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So you better have 2 of something that you absolutely have to have 1 for. And if you only have 1, you might as well pretend like you have none. Right? Redundancy is critical. 1, 2, just on the belt. 3rd is in the weapon. 1, 2, on the belt. 3rd is in the weapon. Now, here's where just the gun belt fails. Well, actually, it doesn't completely fail. I've got 1 flashlight in the pistol pouch here. And I've got 1 on my person here. So I've got 2 flashlights. I only have 1 fire starter, unfortunately. I do need to find out where I need to carry around a Bic lighter even though I don't smoke. I should be doing that because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. If I want to be, extremely prepared. I only have 1 knife on me here. I have 1 tourniquet, 1 med pouch. That's about it. No. You don't need a Bic. What do you mean I don't need a Bic? I mean, I know how to start a fire. You need something that doesn't require liquid. Well, I mean, that's what this is. I have an actual fire starter. But again, 2 is 1, 1 is none. A Bic's a whole lot easier to deal with than that. Right? I can make a fire with that. I am capable and I actually make my backyard fires most of the time. I make them with that. But having a Bic lighter is, first off, those things are dumb cheap. You could get a 100 pack for like flipping $15. And it's interesting because you're going to find a lot of preparedness channels that are like, you need to know how to start a fire rubbing sticks together and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, yeah, but we live in a world where you could get a Bic lighter for stupid cheap. Why not buy 100 pack of those things for $15-20 and just have them, right? And sure, learn how to use the flint with the striker, right? Learn how to make a fire by, banging rocks together or whatever else you need to do. But go buy yourself 100 pack of Bic lighters. And you're going to be set for a while setting fires. Right? Take advantage of cheap technology that we have. I have a refill kit for my Zippo. Well, there you go. I mean, that works too. Same difference. If you've got 100 refill kits for your Zippo instead of 100 Bic lighters, same difference. But use the technology that's available, especially if it's cheap, right? And the same goes for like food preparedness, right? Consider picking up. Yo, what's up, Yakuza? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my guy. I'm assuming you've been back to work, super busy. How was your holiday, dude? Yep, good to have, but no substitute for knowledge. 100%. 100% agreed. Absolutely need to have the knowledge to be able to make a fire not using a Bic lighter. But when you got access to one and you got access to one for cheap or 100 for cheap, buy them. Whoa, what do we got here? What's up, Shock? How you doing, brother? Long time no see. I'm kidding. It was last night, but it's fine. We are currently priming our 9mm cases again. I'm working on. I want to get all of my 9mm done because this is what I have the least of. I have the least 9mm out of the 2 ammos that I need. So I'm working on just nailing down and getting my 9mm completely done. I've got about 350. I've got about 350 primers left that I have to fill. That I have to fill cases with. So we're working on the 9mm, and once we get done with the 9mm, then we're gonna start working on the 223. I've got 1,000. Whew. I got 1,000. I got 1,000 cases that are ready for trim and chamfer. And then I got about 300 cases that are just ready for prime and load. And so we're gonna work on we're gonna get the 359mm done here in the next couple weeks, I hope. Lots of arguments in the holidays. All your buds don't live anywhere near you. That sucks, bro. I mean, it's not like you can visit them anyway, because you know COVID. Am I right? So yeah, I'm gonna get the 359mm done, and then we're gonna start working on the 223 stuff. For our range day this weekend? Wait, I get range day this weekend? Are you coming to Wisco? Are we going shooting? I'm down, dude. However, I'm wearing the gun belt tonight because in between priming and stuff, I'm working some dry fire training on the pistol. I got you can't really see it in there. I got an iTarget Pro. This is safety checked. I got an iTarget Pro for 9mm. So I've got a laser trainer for dry fire training now. That has an app associated with it, and I can do drawdowns and mag changes and all that kind of jazz. Oh yeah. I would have to go to NC to go shooting. That's where all my guns are deposited. Don't tell anyone that, Yakuza. They gonna be gone. Yep, 100%. It's really nice, dude. You can put 1,000 rounds down without ever spending a dime. Like, come on now. This is probably... I had been talking about this for a month, and my mom actually bought me one for Christmas. My mom got me one for Christmas. I was so excited. I think I probably shot 250 practices. 250 practices at home before I even drove home. I mean, it's second to none for trigger control, dude. I feel so vastly unprepared for life should this chem warfare continue to happen. Well, the nice thing is, madam, is that you're literally 15 minutes away. And with your skills, we'll gladly welcome you into the group. With your skills, we'll gladly welcome you into the group. Because your skills are extremely valuable in a situation like that. In a safe near a marine base? Good luck with that. I hear she's good at paintball too. It's really funny. Shock, have you seen the videos on YouTube? The folks that compare paintball and airsoft skill to real gun skill and military skill? I haven't actually watched them myself. They keep popping up, but I got other more important things that I watch. Well, that too. Exactly, madam. You have some valuable skills that make you valuable to a group of people in a bad situation. Dude, it's good, man. No, it's all good, Yakuza. I get it, man. Everyone's got the holidays going on. Christmas was awesome. I spent a week up north and I literally just disconnected, dude. I was like, I'm not, I worked a little bit. Link airsoft and paintball experience to the real thing. Yeah. There's like a former Navy SEAL that does these like reviews on it. It's kind of funny. I can imagine there's probably some skill that translates there. We use paintball and sim training in the military. I really would love to do sim training. With the paint rounds that are literally like, it's like a paintball, but it's literally a actual round with gunpowder and stuff. Paintball to hunt the terrorists. Heck yeah. Let's go. I love paintball. It's just, it's so expensive. And at this point in my life, I'm like, I would rather spend that money on actual real guns. Because let's be real, they're trying to take them away. And I hope people are ready to, actually stand up and fight for their rights, because there might come a time that we have to. I don't want to be like a fearmonger or be talking about Civil War crap, because I truly pray to God that we never have to deal with that. Can we not? The problem is that I don't think there are certain people who fit a certain political ideology that don't realize what calling for civil war actually would mean. Oh, I believe it, Yakuza. I believe it 100%. Heck yeah, dude. I'm down. Actually, Shock, we should probably just meet in Texas. And we'll go with Callistia. Because I'm sure he would love to go for a range day. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm in Wisco. Perhaps a little too close to the Illinois border for my liking, but I know, right? He'll have his acreage all squared away, dude. We had almost an inch by the time I came down here an hour and a half ago. So I came down here an hour and a half ago and we had almost an inch already. So they were calling for 8 and now they changed it to 3 to 5. But the way it's coming down right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see 8. It'll be our first major snowfall of the year. I probably should have made sure that the snowblower was ready to rock. Not that I'm worried about it not starting, but you've got 3 already? You're only like 20 minutes south of me. Jeez, oh Pete's. Well, tickle my biscuit. That's where I want to move within the next 5 years. Which is funny, Yakuza, because we want to get out. Do you like winter? That's why we want to get out. If we could go somewhere where it only rains, that would be preferable. However, Wisconsin is beautiful. Beautiful land, but it's expensive. I'm from Siberia. Do I like snow? That's true. I mean, that's fair. This isn't snow. You call this snow? This isn't snow. All right. We're going to get back to... I always check and double check, make sure that we're good to go. Mid-December, they had 22 inches dropped in 3 days. Screw that noise. Piss on that. That's way too much snow. You're telling me you can't find land in Texas? You know what's crazy, Yakuza? I know a guy. I know a guy. He'll probably get you hooked up. All right. Here we go. Yikes. What? Okay, we're going to restart this because it's... Jacket, it's messing up. I have a... So y'all can see this. I have a Black Hawk that's got a button on it. I'm getting rid of it. You have to press that button to get it out, which is annoying. This was back when I didn't realize that weapons retention happens right here and not in the holster. It's not that it's when you've practiced with it as much as I have, it's not dangerous like I'm worried about getting myself. It's more along the lines of this hampers my speed pretty badly. So I'm going to replace this once I can sell some stuff. I'm going to replace this holster with a non-retention holster, like a non-button holster, because this has got tier 2 retention on it and it's bad. We'll put it that way. It's not just land, it's got to be the land. I have my real estate agent, my mom, keeping an eye out all the time. That's awesome. What are you looking for in land, Yakuza? Besides for water on property, because everyone wants water on property, right? If you're going to buy land, you better have water on property. Seems like if it got stuck caught, those mere seconds can make... Oh, absolutely, it would make all the difference. So the crazy thing is, though, is that this is not my primary setup. The battle belt that I'm wearing, that I'm practicing out of, is not what this isn't what I carry day to day, right? I actually work out of an appendix carry holster more than I work out of the leg rig. So this is like, I practice with this just to keep kind of in practice with it. But I have an appendix carry holster. That's my primary concealed carry holster. That is what I practice more out of. I practice more out of the appendix carry. However, I will not practice out of appendix on here because I have to pull my shirt up to practice out of, and ain't nobody want to see that, and I'd probably get booted off the platform anyway. I mean, this might get me booted off the platform anyway, but who knows? I don't know. YouTube, Google, and Amazon would really prefer us to be as little self-sufficient as possible. All right. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, that's shenanigans. Okay, hang on a sec. This app is a little sensitive. The app is shooting itself. All right, 133 on a 7. 9 on a 161. Six on a 142. 8 on a 146. 8 on a 129. 10 on a 131. 6 on a 139. 6 on a 136. 7 on a 142. 6 on a 169. Why wouldn't you be able to year-round self? It's got to be tillable. Dad bod and guns. Yes. Pinterest wants me to be super self-sufficient and broke. Yes. It's got to be tillable. I need a picture of year-round self-sustainability. Texas doesn't have it yet. Maybe in a decade when tech is more evolved, and I mean full self-sufficient. What do you define as self-sufficient, Yakuza? I'm assuming you're talking off-grid solar, which solar is getting there, but batteries are only lasting 10 years. Right? Battery technology just doesn't exist yet to really go full true solar. Yo, sounds good, bro. Have a good night. Love you. See you soon. Talk soon. Texas too rough. I don't want manual labor at all. I love you, Yakuza. Forever the optimist. You do realize that literally, like, yeah, you're either paying someone to do it or you're doing it yourself. And the fact of the matter is that self-sufficiency, I want to cultivate the land and have bots take care of it. That's not happening, bro. What happens when those bots break down? Are you going to fix them? Well, guess what? You're doing labor at that point. The fact is that there is, like, self-sufficiency comes from self. There's a reason why self-sufficiency has the word self in it. Right? You're never going to get to a point where you're actually that's an illusion. I'm a pretty good coder, so that's easy. I'm not talking about the coding. I'm talking about what happens when those tilling blades break or are dulled. You got to fix them, or you have to have someone else who has the skill to fix them, because they won't last forever. That tech is way far off, bud. There's no way that you're going to buy titanium blades, and even titanium doesn't last forever. Technology, I think this is where maybe fundamentally we disagree. Technology isn't the answer. Never will be. Because technology is too fragile. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where technology won't be fragile enough. I can't picture a time in my lifetime. And technology has come a very long way in the last 10 years. Technology has come a very long way in 10 years. Using bots and sourcing from people living on the rented land for labor works for me. Indentured servitude? I'm stretching my knees. Need to stretch my knees out. I'm getting old. I'm getting old, chat. It's bad. All right. 10 shots, 73. So I had a 7.3 average on 10 shots. And I really wish there was a way to see what my average speed on target was. This is a lot of fun, guys, by the way. 132. Six on a 132. Five on a 155. One, 3, 6. Five on a 136. 8 on a 187. 8 on a 149. 9 on a 145. Getting slower, guys. 138. 5 on a 145. 8 on a 168. I got hung up multiple times. No money, just help a neighbor out. I think people will be happy to help if you give them a place to live. I love the laser system we had in the armory. It meant we got to play with all the fun guns all year round instead of just range time. Heck yeah. Agreed, Shock. But I think that's like, that's not... I would love nothing more than to have a group of 30 or 40 people that just wanted to live on a few hundred acres and live in harmony together. That sounds like straight hippie stuff. I know, but I'd be all about it. If I could find somewhere where we'd have like 500 acres and we had 10, 15 families all just working the land, taking care of each other, living in community and harmony with one another, feeding each other and completely self-sufficient. That sounds like a dream. That sounds like a dream. And it sounds like straight hippie stuff, but I'm all about it. I would absolutely do that. Well, right. That's exactly it, madam. You have to find a group of like-minded individuals who are interested in actually supporting each other, not people who are going to freeload, stuff like that, right? Thing is, though, that, yeah, you'd have to have enough to have your own privacy as a family, right? But you're going to be working in the woods. You're going to be taking care of each other. You're going to be, you know, working the land, taking care of livestock. When people need a vacation, they can go on vacation, and you've got neighbors and family to take care of livestock and all that jazz. I mean, that's absolutely the way that you'd want to do it. Have to have people who just want to live a life. 5,000 acres. Where in the world are you finding 5,000 acres where you can set up something like that? I've never looked at 5,000 acres, bro. You can't find 500 acres. That's 5,000 acres in the United States of America. I don't care where it is going to cost you millions of dollars. Millions of dollars to find 5K acres anywhere in the US. Close to 4 million. Where are you finding 5K acres for $4 million? Is this commercial property? Is this ag property? Like, are you required to... That sounds like would have to be part of like greenbelt stuff, where you literally have to leave a certain part of the land untouched in order for it to be maintained as part of a greenbelt property or something along those lines. That's nuts. That you could find 5K acres for 4 million? That's dumb cheap. Undeveloped land, have to develop yourself. Define develop. What natural features are there? All right, we're going again. Yeah, that doesn't even show up on my search, madam, because I'm like looking at like I can't spend $450,000 on land. Sure. That's right off the highway. I think I know where that is. All right. Six on a 143. No way that was a 0. I put it in the 7 on a 124. 5 on a 138. 6 on a 154. 7 on a 138. 7 on a 132. 6 on a 125. That was a 0 on a 154. Seven on a 138. And that should have been a 7. That should have been a 7 on a 143. Some of these are registering 0 when they're in the 7. I am measuring. Yep, response time. Draw to fire. So there's a beep that I audibly hear, and I am putting on, trying to get on target in preferably under a 1.5 seconds. Eventually, as I get better, and as I replace this holster with something I can actually draw out of, the plan is to get down under a second. I want to be able to draw, press, and fire accurately in under a second is the goal. With this holster, there's no way it's going to happen. I don't think it matters how much I practice. 126. Should have been a 7. 132, 9. 8 on a 173. I got hooked up again. 8 on a 143. 1499. Gosh dang it, dude. 164 on a 6. 6 on a 134. 7 on a 149. 8 on a 141. 6 on a 147. I'm struggling with that button, dude. Let's see it. Oh, that's off of... Okay. Nice. Wait, they want... That's no longer 450. Did you see the price now? They want 600,000 for that. That went up $150,000 since the last time you looked at it. That's crazy. Playing Warframe might improve that skill. It's a little different than a mouse button. That's nuts. 134. I didn't see where that hit. You're not going to give me a 0 on that? That was a 0. 136. That was in the head. 151. 5 on a 143. 141. 5. 5 on a 141. 8 on a 149. I'm getting worse, guys. 132. 8 on a 138. It already has lines for gas, water, telephone, so there's that. Yeah, but so it depends on what you're going to use the property for, though, too. Right? Like, why would you want a property like that? First off, if it's for self-sufficiency, you don't want to be right off the highway. It's easy access. It's easy access right off the highway like that. You get no privacy. You're going to have people, I would never want to buy a property that was off the highway like that. Simply because of the privacy aspect of it. Like, let's say we go Walking Dead style, right? Let's say you're preparing for a Walking Dead type scenario. You will get raided in a location like that nonstop. Nonstop. Be nonstop raiding. People would find that they'd see your property from the highway and they'd be like, dude, I'm all over it, man. There's got to be stuff here. You wouldn't have anything left by the time you got done getting raided by people. You want to be in the middle of nowhere off the highway, not dealing with any of that shenaniganery. Wait, what? What does that mean? They'd sip? So the other thing that I want to get to practicing at some point is going to be yeah, maybe, is mag reloads. So pop on. I can't practice that with this app. That's the one drawback to this app, is I can't time what a reload would look like. So I get my beep, beep, pop, mag reload, pop. So understanding what my split is, I would need it like a shot timer, and you can really only do that on the range. We all want to imagine Walking Dead style, but I don't believe that a lot of people in the US can actually survive the actual events when crapper hits the fan. You're not wrong. I don't think there's many people who are actually prepared to deal with an actual SHTF situation, right? If we're talking like a straight up shit hit the fan EMP that takes out the entire grid, nuclear war, like Great Depression style economic collapse, but even worse than the Great Depression, an actual pandemic. An actual pandemic where literally people are dying in the street type of pandemic, right? Invasion, foreign invasion. China actually invading the US and trying to literally occupy the country. right? Those are, when we say actual, right? Those are the types of events that I would be talking about if we were talking about straight like doomsday prepper stuff. I adhere more to the ethos of being prepared for more realistic scenarios, regional issues. A tornado comes through and wipes out everything, right? Regional conflict. The Kenosha thing was in my backyard, basically. And so being prepared for mobs to come roll through your neighborhood, right? Those are the things that you should be prepared for. I think more realistically than like doomsday type stuff. Don't bring tornadoes into this. I'm not prepared for that. So I'd ask you though, madam, what do you need to be prepared for something like that? You're probably more prepared for it than you think. Do you have enough water for your family for 3 or 4 days? Because let's be real, like this is where my thought process goes with this. The only time that I really need something, like let's say a tornado came through and flattened my house and we were in the basement, right? Where we're supposed to be. If it flattened the house and we couldn't find our way out of the basement for 3 or 4 days, we would make it. Because we've got food and water. That's the kind of like preparedness that I'm talking about. And there's nothing wrong with being terrified of tornadoes. Tornadoes are dangerous. Well, you live on a well, but if power goes out, how do you get water out of that well? Because living on a well is all well and good. Bad dad jokes. It's got a hand pump? Good. Well, there you go. I'll keep my earthquakes. You could have the tornadoes. I'd much rather have a tornado than an earthquake. And I'm not talking tremor style earthquake. I'm talking a rip the earth open type of earthquake. Nah, I'm good. I'm totally fine with tornadoes over earthquakes. I'll take that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I'm thinking modern day collapse when Rome fell. So talk to me about Rome falling, Yakuza, because that's something that I've always been interested in studying more about the collapse of civilizations, because frankly, that's what happens. I hope we're not on the precipice of it for the United States, but the fact of the matter is that countries don't stay in power for longer than usually a few hundred years. What's the longest running empire in its, prime form? What's the longest running empire ever? I don't know the answer to that question, by the way. That's a rhetorical or hypothetical question. Well, previous to us. Prior to us. How long was it? How long did Rome exist for? How long did the, Mayan Empire live for? How long in their forms, right, did these world powers at the time, right? How long did Napoleon rule for? Those are the types of, and usually from what I've seen, it's usually somewhere between 400 and 600 years, right? So we're coming up on in 2076. Yeah, but China survived thousands, but not in the form that it's in right now. There were multiple empires within the Chinese empire. There are multiple empires that have gone back and forth in power before China was like unified in its current form, right? All right, let's do this again. 6 on a 130. Eight on a 136. 6 on a 126. 5 on a 136. 10 on a 129. 5 on a 132. 9 on a 134. No way that was a 0 on a 132. That was an 8. 5 on a 126. 5 on a 132. Hey, that was looking pretty good. Except I tore my hand up on my sight a little bit there, trying to get that quick reset before the next shot. Rome was the only one next to the Mongolian Empire. India has the longest running empire, the Pandyan Empire, or Pandyan. India never united until the British arrived. Well, and so that's the hard thing about defining these empires, right? Is how do you define an empire? When did it start? How long did it run for? And how do you define how long it ran for, right? When we think of the rise and fall of an empire, how do you define that? How do you define an empire falling? How do you define how long an empire actually ran for? I mean, the reality is that the United States has been around for 250 years as its own entity, right? Obviously, it existed for about 100 years before that, right? 100-ish years before that, before we decided to make our own country. And who knows for how long it'll last, right? I mean, technically, we didn't make it past... When was the Civil War? 1840 something? My United States history is crap. 1861 to 1865. Okay, I wasn't too far off. I said 1860, right? I had the first three numbers right. All empires or dynasties never lasted more than a half a millennia. Yep. Well, and that's my point, right? Is that so we're 250 years into this thing. How much longer do you think it's going to last? I don't know. But then again, how long has the UK lasted? I mean, obviously Britain was... How long has the British Empire been a thing? It was the largest empire in history from the 16th to the 18th centuries, but it still exists as a country today, right? So it may not be a world superpower, but it's still a country, right? So the British Empire, according to Wikipedia, right, which take or leave whether or not Wikipedia is an accurate representation, right? But the British Empire was composed of the dominions, colonies, protectorates, mandates, and other territories ruled and administered by the United Kingdom and its predecessor states, began with overseas possessions and trading posts established in England between the late 16th and early 18th centuries. At its height, it was the largest empire and a foremost global power. By 1913, it held sway over 412 million people, 23% of the world population. By 1920, it covered 35 million square miles, 24% of the Earth's total land area. The independence of the 13 colonies in North America in 1783 after the American War of Independence resulted in Britain losing some of its oldest and most populous colonies. They turned towards Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. Defeat of France in the Napoleonic Wars of 1803 to 1815. Naval and imperial power in the 19th century. I mean, if you look at the general like timeline, it takes two things to determine an empire era: the core and the periphery. The core typically represents the empire's rise. The periphery better explains its persistence. Right. So if you take the core of the 16th and the 18th century for Britain, or that would be the periphery, the 18th and 19th century would be its core, right? And now we're back into the periphery for it being a world power. It still holds power within, the greater economy. But I wouldn't say the UK is a superpower by any stretch of the imagination. Well, and here's the interesting thing too, is how do you define its core? Is it a military superpower? Most of what you would define a country and its prowess within the world would be its military power, right? So as of right now, the United States is still the military superpower. Now, how weak are we going to make our armed forces? And by weak, I'm not talking about the people who are part of the armed forces, but I'm saying when you start to reduce the number of armed forces and the amount of spend that you spend on the military, right? How far does it go before we're no longer the world superpower? China's coming up fast. They are quickly developing capabilities to outmaneuver us. I believe the core is the societal progress evolution. That sounds overly emotional, Yakuza. From the dream of imposing an imperial peace on squabbling states to the desire for economic exploitation, lust for the glory of conquest, or zeal for evangelism, religious or ideological. So here's the interesting thing. The United States, generally, we have not expanded, right? It's not like we're trying to take over Canada or take over Mexico. We've defined our landmass, if you will. We've defined our expansion. Yeah, there's Puerto Rico and stuff like that, but I mean, generally speaking, we haven't expanded in a very long time. We're here, I feel like, or at the end of that. The periphery is the place to look for crucial resistance or collaboration. Resistance for sure. I've never in my 37 years on this planet seen the country more divided ideologically. Or at least that's the way it feels when people talk. Generally speaking, right? We're talking talk here. A lot of people talk a lot of talk. Not a lot of people walk a lot of walk. So whether or not people actually would live up to their talk or not is a different thing. Myself included, by the way, that I'm not, I am not, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm part of that. We'll just put it that way. And it doesn't even have to be anything important. There's so much political divide over something as simple as chicken or beef. I wouldn't necessarily call that political divide as much as cultural divide, maybe. There's a cultural divide for sure between pineapple on pizza and not. right? But that's all fun and games. I'm talking like hardcore ideological divide. There are those who believe that guns keep the First Amendment safe, and those who believe the First Amendment is kept safe by the government. There are those who believe that the government has your best interest in mind, and there are those who don't. There are those who believe in true freedom, that regardless of what religion you believe in, you're allowed to worship it as you wish without imposing on others. And there are those who believe that you should worship the way they worship and only worship the way they worship. There are those who believe that you should own nothing and that everyone should be given an equal share, even if that share is nothing, even if that share is so significantly low that your quality of life is non-existent. And there are those who believe in earning what they keep. You got right, left, you got blue and red, you've got, heck, we're divided on everything. people are willing to sacrifice relationship for their ideology. That's the saddest part of the whole thing. They're willing to sacrifice relationship for their ideology. And it's sad. $147. $169. $10 on a 135. $8 on a 140. $10 on a 172. $165. $9 on a 152. Getting worse, guys. $5 on a 135. $6 on a 152. The amendments are upheld by the people, not by government. I believe government is just there to help hold the line. Should be. 152 on a 7. Oh, that was my 10th shot. I was reading chat while shooting. I've gotten to the point where I don't have to look at the sights to put it on target. That's where you start to realize you're dangerous. Well, the whole point is that amendments are supposed to define what the government is not allowed to infringe upon. That's the thing that people don't understand. You realize that the Second Amendment our right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And the amount of infringement that has already happened is unreal. We've allowed them to stomp on our rights. And now they want to make it so that you can't have more than 3 rounds in there. Come and take it. Because I'm going to tell you right now that if 4 guys bust into my house, 3 rounds ain't going to cover it. And I don't care what the percent chance is. The fact of the matter is that I don't expect you to protect me and my family. That's my job. I don't want a reactionary police force. And I sure as heck can't afford private security. I am my own security. I am my kids' security. I am my wife's security. You don't get to dictate that. That's why I practice. That's why I have a plan. It's frustrating.
Days may come and go, and nights may fade away, but someone might come along and shatter your brain today.
6 on a 142. 144. 5 on a 159. 9 on a 141. 127 in the shoulder. 135 on a 5. 7 on a 141. 8 on a 145. 5 on a 136. 7, 161. Yikes. It's empty. There are no shots to take. I polished that off over quarantine. I think that's why I'm having the hardest time with this quarantine right now. Yes, they're with their dad, but it's not me. I'm not there to protect them. That's tough. That's very tough. Get a full one. It's upstairs. I've actually got a big one, and I got a... The reason I don't have it down here right now is because I'm practicing. And anytime, even when I'm dry fire practicing, I generally stay away from alcohol. Because it's not worth it. Not worth the risk that you mess around with something like that. Yep. Well, which is funny because I technically have it in my space right now. I'm literally at my reloading bench making ammo. But I don't have any mags. I don't have any mags that are loaded. But yes, I generally keep I have the actual mags stored away out of the same room. The mags that are loaded for self-defense purposes. So yes, I generally adhere to that. I adhere to that particular ethos, if you will. All right, couple more runs here. 7 on a 139. 7 on a 134. 7 on a 132. 6 on a 139. 'Should have been a 7 on a 132. 10 on a 138. 5 on a 126. 6 on a 154. Got caught again. 8 on a 141. 5 on a 147. Yikes. Can I just say I like this dad version a wee bit more than the gaming dad version, but I like him too. What do I think about the possibility of 230 being repealed? I think it should be. Unfortunately, social media I know that these are private platforms and that free speech doesn't apply. I understand that. But these platforms have become an integral part of the way that people communicate and share information, right? It used to be that the encyclopedias, right, which was a defined set of information that was shared generation over generation and added to factually speaking, that's how information used to be shared. It used to be shared by publication. It used to be shared by encyclopedia, etc. Those encyclopedias were, I suppose they could have been written in a way that would adhere to a specific ideology. But the fact of the matter is that, does it worry you at all about your content here if it is repealed? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the fact of the matter is that 230 technically protects me as a content creator for creating content on the platform. But here's the problem. I either have big tech deciding what I can make, or I have the government deciding what I can make. What difference does it make? Some higher power is defining how I make my content and who sees my content. I mean, for me as a content creator, 230 being repealed is a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, exactly. Literally. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other at this point. It's either the government or it's big tech. And frankly, seeing what big tech is doing right now, I'd rather have the government run it, which is saying something, because I don't think the government can run dick. I don't think the government's capable. The government isn't capable of doing anything. But I do not ideologically fall on the same lines as most of the people who own these companies, these big tech companies. And the fact of the matter is that they are suppressing our voices. The fact that I'm using YouTube right now, it'll be a miracle if anyone finds me, besides the people I've already built up. And the fact of the matter is that they could shut me down whenever they want with no ramifications. They could end my business. Think about this for a second. Amazon or Google or Facebook could end my business if they so desired. Everything I've worked for the past 3.5 years, they could end. And there's nothing I can do about it. That's a hard pill to swallow. If 230 is repealed, when they become a publisher, there's a higher likelihood that they will shut me down, because I don't have any, there's not going to be any government protection. If they become a publisher, they're then held responsible for the content that is published on their platform. You got to think about that. But the other side of that coin is that right now, a lot of our content, especially content that falls on the conservative side, is already being shut down anyway. Oh, dang. Well, good luck with that, Yakuza. It was good to see you, brother. I appreciate you stopping in and hanging out and having a good combo, man. I do like Tuesday nights for this reason. I feel like we get into conversations that are much more substantive. We're not limited in any way for the things that we can talk about. Because people don't come to see my gaming content to talk about this stuff. Right? 100%, dude. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, $230 is scary. Repealing 230 is scary. Either way you look at it. I'm busy. Well, stay busy, brother. I always say better busy than bored, dude. Better busy than bored. Yeah. 230 is a tough one. Because it's a balancing act. Because as soon as they're liable for the content that's published, I guarantee you this channel gets shut down in a heartbeat. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of our gun rights advocates, a lot of the people who advocate for our Second Amendment rights that do so on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, they'll be shut down immediately. Busy is good. Make cheddar and pay taxes. You're not wrong. Why did that get deleted? Hey, Nightbot, you're on crack. Stop spamming emotes? Wait, what happens if I remove that? I gotta fix my Nightbot settings, dude. You're pretty hard, yeah, yeah. I just got rid of the emote spam thing. And I'm getting rid of some of the lesser offensive words. Because my brother got I forgot some of the stuff I had in here. I pulled my list from the gaming side and used that to set up Nightbot. And I just realized I have some stuff in there that really will probably never get talked about in this channel ever, that I don't probably need to have in there at all. Gosh dang, dude. I hate that button. I hate it. And I can't disable it either. $148. $7 on a 114. I cheated there and I still got caught. $6 on a 137. $5 on a 133. Roll. $8 on a 148. Ah, cheated. I was shot 10. 131. I didn't even get it back in the holster. I wonder if I can up the amount of time in between shots. Reholster delay is 3 seconds? I'm gonna make that 5. It's so rushed. How many shots? 10. We'll stick with 10. Hey, look at that. Okay. Sweet, dude. Eight on a 150. Seven on a 152. I'm slow again, slower now. 6 on a 143. 135 on a 7. One, 3, 3 on a, that should have been a 9. 8 on a 165. That was slow. 7 on a 126. 7 on a 179. I got caught again. One, 3, 4, 6. 10 on a 143. That was shot 10. So I like the fact that you can kind of tune. I'm glad I looked for those settings, because that would have been really annoying if I had to re-up that so fast every time. All right, y'all. I think we're gonna wrap it there. I think we're looking mighty spice. We kind of strayed away from the Nashville talk because there's not enough. I really don't think there's enough information for us to really figure out what the heck is going on there. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that in this day and age, with all of the tech and stuff that we have available to us, not just us, but law enforcement agencies and the public, it is so hard to believe that we can't come up with any sort of motive for what happened. No motive. None whatsoever. This person has been so under the radar for so long. No social media. Didn't even communicate with anyone, or if they did, they're not talking about it. So we've got no ideology. There's no there's no political or religious or any sort of ideology for a motive. The only thing we've even got to go on is the fact that the person resigned from AT&T weeks before the situation. And at that, they didn't give a reason why they resigned. They just resigned. Or at least that's what AT&T is telling us. So, I don't know. Remains to be seen, y'all. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so much for spending some time on the Homestead. If you guys enjoyed it, if you're brand new here, make sure you sub. Hit the sub button. We do this on Tuesday nights from 8 to 10:30, 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. Depends on how spicy the combos get, or what the topic is, or how tired I am after a long day of teaching children math homework and getting kids in bed and dealing with all the shenaniganery that we got going on over there. So that kind of dictates this as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending the time. If you guys are interested in gaming content, make sure you check out Dad Got Game on Twitch and on YouTube. And we'll be live tomorrow for that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys back here next Tuesday here on Homestead Heroic. Have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe. Keep the faith. Godspeed.
The further we move on from all those yesterdays, happiness gets nearer. The light that we see closing in so fast ahead, it's hope, it's getting clearer. The more I think of all the tough times we survived, the more it makes me smile. If nothing's broken us, yeah, nothing ever will. 'Cause dreams are hard to kill.
What is Homestead heroic? For me, it's a vision, the desire to be self-sufficient, to provide for my family in a way that ensures I'm beholden to no man, to be a little more reliant on God's provision and a little less reliant on the supply chain. The focus is on community, learning, self-reliance, and personal responsibility. Learning from one another, an opportunity to teach, an opportunity to learn. The content of this channel will be focused on many things regarding self-sustainability, homesteading, gardening, reloading, defense training, building, crafting. Many disciplines will be taught, and I have no doubt that many more will be learned. I can't wait to share this journey with you, and I hope you're equally excited to go on it with me. Welcome to Homestead Heroic. Be strong, stay safe, keep the faith, and Godspeed.